Question is that the Federation Chamber do now adjourn, and I call the member for Canberra.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I rise today to talk about this week's budget announcement from the Morrison Government, and that this budget is largely a missed opportunity to set out a vision for the Australian people to help those most in need of support from their government, particularly in these turbulent times of a global pandemic, and a political fix rather than a strong policy vision for this nation. I want to run through some of the issues in particular where I think this is a missed opportunity. And the first was the opportunity to set out a strong plan to transition to a sustainable economy and see some real action on climate change from this government. And Canberrans are telling me every day that this is what they desperately want to see from this government as Australia increasingly becomes an embarrassment on the world stage. This budget could have been an opportunity to really invest in renewable energy, to make Australia the renewable energy superpower that we know it can be. But instead, in his speech, the Treasurer doubled down on not quite committing to getting to net zero by 2050, saying that, preferably we'll get there. Well, that's not good enough. It needs a commitment and a plan to get there. Aged care has obviously been a centrepiece of this budget, and rightfully so, as it is in crisis. The system has been neglected, and it has led to the neglect of our vulnerable older Australians, our grandparents, our parents, our loved ones, who have suffered in this system that is simply not acceptable in a country like Australia. But don't be fooled by the large headline figure, as it falls well short of what the Royal Commission into Aged Care actually recommended needs to be invested to get this system fixed. And yesterday I had the opportunity to talk to aged care workers from the United Workers Union, and they were very disappointed to see that this money will not fix the crisis that they deal with every day. What was incredibly clear was that these workers are so dedicated to the residents that they serve every day, and that is why they keep turning up to work, trying really up against it to try and provide these people with decent care. This plan does nothing for their wages. It doesn't guarantee that we will have 24-hour registered nurses in facilities, which people have been asking for years, and we're still looking into the detail, but I just think that this falls short of what we needed to see for aged care in this budget. Childcare. Also, nothing for the workers who work so hard and do an incredibly dedicated and professional job caring for our youngest Australians and educating them each and every day. Our plan, Labor's plan, will benefit 97% of families to have more affordable childcare, whereas this plan from the government does not go anywhere near as that. It only benefits families with 2 or more children in childcare at one time, and even families with 2 or more children usually don't have them both in childcare, as families know at the same time. Our universities. Representing the seat of Canberra, I represent a university town, a real centre of excellence, and I have seen it decimated by this government. No help through the pandemic for our universities. This is the time we should be investing in the future, investing in our young people, being able to attend university and the universities to do the research that we need to tackle the emerging challenges. But instead, we saw funding cut by 9.3% again, and confirming that the fee hikes that this government has already announced and already passed through this parliament are actually to make up for other cuts in Commonwealth funding to our universities. Of course, we saw no support for universities or the workers through the pandemic from this government. And of course, it's the casual workers at universities, mostly women, who are the first to lose their jobs all around the country, including in Canberra. And of course, no surprises, we've seen nothing for the poor, for low-income people in this budget. We've seen the tax cut of the low-income tax offset, which research shows will actually benefit more mid and high-income earners because people on really low incomes don't earn enough to even benefit from it. We've seen no increase to the job seeker payment apart from the pathetic $3.50 a day that was already announced. And we've even seen a 4-year waiting period introduced for newly arrived migrants, including refugees. It means they will wait 4 years for family tax benefit, a payment that is about addressing child poverty. This is a government that wants to see refugee children living in poverty, and that is an absolute disgrace. And I look forward to tonight's budget reply from Anthony Albanese that sets out an alternative vision for this nation, one about equality, because for us, equality has been our driving mission of the Labor Party, not something we do when we have a political problem to fix.
The question is that the